your keys?
Yeah. I'm here, aren't I?
Yeah.
Couldn't be here without my keys.
That's not true.
That's not true.
Hello, good morning, BBs.
Good morning. It's too early.
It sure is.
Welcome to the first, best, and only morning show in existence. I'm Anthony Carboni.
And I'm Saige Ryan.
And that's it.
Wow, yeah.
That's it.
As we were being counted in, Josh. Hi, good morning, Josh.
Hi, good morning.
Let's talk about what just happened.
Oh, no. No, let's not talk about what just happened.
I thought you were doing the classic iCarly Freddie Benson. 5, 4, 3, 2. And then he came back with another number.
Got to keep coming back.
He came back with another
Hey
number.
guys, it's too early.
That's true. It's a name and a promise.
Did you show them you, Josh? When you say hello?
Hi, good morning, everybody. It's far too early for any of this for me.
Look,
I'm here.
Disembodied voice of Josh.
Look, here's what I'm going to say. And I'm not like, I know there's something that you want to call out, but you're talking about symptoms and I want to talk about the root problem. Here's the root problem.
Tell me, Anthony.
Josh walked in this morning and asked for a makeup wipe.
Yeah.
Do you know what that means?
What?
Late night, Josh?
Yep. I'm pushing all the buttons to turn everything on.
Josh asked for a makeup wipe and did not want to show himself for the good morning, which means Josh had a good one last night.
I'm still covered in leftover pirate makeup.
I love it.
You gotta pirate on your weeknights.
Okay, so now you pirate professionally, but
I do.
So if you're ever in the Disneyland Anaheimish area here in California, please go see the Pirates Dinner Theater to watch our boy.
Pirates Dinner Adventure.
Pirates Dinner
if you wanna
Adventure.
Google it properly.
But did you all go out for like a little pirate party afterwards? Is that what happened? Because like normally you can scoot back pretty early. It sounds like y'all went out in full makeup and had a night.
Nope, just rehearsal.
Just rehearsal. Oh. So you were doing physical stunts all evening.
Yes.
So that's why you're tired.
That'll do it.
Yeah, I thought you had fun. I'm sorry. You were wearing out your body.
I'll turn one of our lights on.
Well, I had fun last night.
You did?
Yeah.
What'd you do?
Played that new Super Mario RPG remake. Streamed it over on my channel, where of course I'm trying to play through every game that could potentially be the game of the year. And I thought to myself, Saige, if they're going to tell me that Resident Evil 4 can be game of the year and it's not 2002, then probably Super Mario RPG could be game of the year.
It's worth considering.
It's worth considering. And here's what I'm going to tell you.
It turns out.
That remake is lovely. It's adorable.
Yeah?
It's sweet as hell. The things that they added, so they added a bunch of like little cutscenes, but the little cutscenes, they're not huge. They don't take up tons of time.
That's why they're little cutscenes.
Yeah, they feel like they feel stylistically in line with Mario RPG.
I've never played Mario RPG.
Oh,
I'm very excited.
here's the thing. You're a Paper Mario kid.
Love Paper Mario.
Paper Mario is obviously the evolution of this game.
Yes.
You will feel a bit of the going backwards of it.
Sure.
And you will feel the Square Enix in it.
Okay. Interesting.
Because Square did develop it. So Square has different ideas than Nintendo about what accessibility is in an RPG.
Okay.
It still does all the things you'd expect. You've got to like double tap with the right timing with your hammer to hit twice.
Fun.
But the timing is wildly specific.
Okay.
Because it's Square.
Yeah.
And they were like, here's a fun thing that we'll do to punish you because we're Square. But it's lovely. And it stars the smooshiest, smashiest, just gooshiest Mario. He's just a square little wide squat bean.
Yeah.
And he doesn't speak. He just like, but you know, and it's adorable and wonderful. And I meant to play it. I meant to do a short stream because I had tech issues last night.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm only going to do like 2 hours, 4 hours of Mario RPG.
Shit.
It's good.
I'm so glad to hear it.
It's good games.
That's so lovely.
Yeah. What'd you do? You got any, what have you been up to?
What'd I do? Truly, what have I done, everybody?
And then she looks at her bloody hands. What have I done?
What have I become?
Who did
Who
this?
am I?
Was it me?
I just worked yesterday. You know what I did? Can we all have a round of applause? I finally took my car to the mechanic.
Hey!
I finally took my car to the mechanic. It's a little bit of a personal win. Have I gotten it back? No. Have they told me what's wrong with it? No. Have they told me how much it's going to cost? No.
But your car, we think what's wrong with your car is something that was part of a recall.
Yeah. Which like you can get reimbursed for if you take it to a regular mechanic if you don't have like a super close by dealer.
Yeah.
But then I took it in and they were like, there's other problems. And I was like, just ignore those.
Sure, there are other problems, I'm sure.
Sure, just ignore those, please.
Just ignore them. Get it running.
Those.
Get it running and legal.
Yeah.
I like a mechanic where you can walk in and you can go, hey, bud, get it running and legal to where I'm not going to kill myself.
Yeah.
I don't care. These little things that you're telling me about, I've never heard of them. They're probably not real words. You've probably heard of all of them. But
the thing is, it's a small issue. It's like a cable that like commonly breaks on my type of car, right?
And it's called a brake line.
Whatever. And it did. It broke.
What cable? What cable is it?
It's for my gear shift.
Oh, right. It keeps it in neutral. Your car is like forever in neutral.
My car is stuck in neutral.
Yeah.
Which is stressful. While the car is powered on, it rolls.
Yeah.
But
Saige,
apparently,
all cars do that.
I should go get my car back. I didn't need to take it in.
That's what cars do.
But when that broke, it broke something else, apparently. And then there's something leaky.
Sure.
And leaky makes corrosions.
Yeah, and leaky's, like, if you're going to fix anything, you got to fix leaky.
So I got that call yesterday, and I was like, cool, tell me how many dollars. Don't tell me what's wrong. Just tell me how many dollars.
I don't want the list. I mean, you should give me the list. It's responsible of you.
It's responsible to give me the list, but like, I can't negotiate before the how many dollars. I can't be like, yes, do, don't do.
Yeah.
What do you think, I'm made of money?
Give me the itemized breakdown and I'll tell you what I need.
And now it's been another day and I still don't know how many dollars. So that's mostly all. I've been trying to do things that take care of my life.
Yeah.
Which is weird.
That's smart.
A lot of people are like slowed down for the Thanksgiving week.
But for you, when work slows down, you realize all of the things that you've been turning a blind eye to.
Yeah, to me, that is slowing down. Like I did some laundry.
Yeah.
So that's why when you're like, what'd you do yesterday? I'm like, I didn't do anything. I talked to a mechanic.
I don't mean to brag, but I started my dishwasher before I left this morning.
This morning?
I've been meaning to wash my dishes for 2 weeks. I can't wash them when I'm in the house because the sound of the dishwasher is a sensory thing for me and it annoys the shit out of me.
Valid.
So every time I leave, I have to remember to turn the dishwasher on. Baby, that's not how leaving works when you have ADHD. When you got ADHD, if I remember to turn on the dishwasher, I'm going to forget my keys and lock myself out of my apartment. I got to do the same standard leaving thing that I always do.
Do you remember your keys?
Yeah. I'm here, aren't I?
Yeah.
Couldn't be here without my keys.
That's not true.
That's not true, but I did drive.
Nice.
So you know that I'm here with my keys.
Okay. Well, that's pretty neat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, we're just doing, I'm excited for Thanksgiving because I'm not doing shit.
Yeah. I think I might see a movie. That's it.
I got like a Friendsgiving thing this weekend, but not on actual Thanksgiving, which is great. We normally do in my Discord and my chat, we normally do like a little, if you don't have anything to do and you want to hang out, I leave like a voice channel open and we play some cartoons, like some holiday specials.
How lovely.
If people want to check in and I'm hanging out, and
I love that.
Yeah, it's nice. And it's nice to just do things around the house and chill and not feel like by chilling 50 other things are being ignored.
Yeah, because everybody's taking the day off for the most part.
I can't go to a movie. I got invited to a movie. I can't do it on Thanksgiving.
No?
It's too busy at the movies.
Is it? I've never been to a movie on Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving and Christmas Day are the two biggest days for movies.
I know Christmas. We're Jews, of course it is.
Yeah.
We know that one, but
then y'all took it from us and made it the busiest time of the year.
I know, right?
They took the Chinese food and they took the movies from us.
It's so fucked up where I'm just like, you guys already have your thing this day.
Listen, this used to be, Christmas used to be a day for marginalized populations in the United States to
see movies and eat Chinese food.
To exchange goods and services together.
Yeah.
As a family.
Yeah.
Now, you go to the movies on Thanksgiving, it's fucking packed.
What the fuck is this?
What is this?
Go Jesus or something.
Yeah, go Jesus.
Oh, not like
rah rah.
Not like that. Not like that. Like go do Jesus things or something. Isn't that?
Spirit of the Stairwell says the war on Christmas continues. That's the true war on Christmas. Is when
Christians going to the movie theater?
Yeah, is when it was taken from us.
Yeah. Yeah.
Christmas is the same for you. It's the same no matter what, but you took it from us.
I want to talk about something while we're talking about the movies, Anthony.
Sure.
I saw a little bit of discourse on Twitter this week.
I love a discourse. I love a spicy discourse.
I want everybody's opinion on this.
Sure.
Movie previews at the movie theater.
Okay.
Do those fall into, and not like literally, but in your brain, do those fall into the category of being advertised to?
Oh, I mean, yes, but it is one of the few times when I agree to it and enjoy it.
So the discourse that I saw was there's too many previews at the movies now.
I love previews.
And I want to know what the BBs think of this. They were like, it's, 40 minutes of ads. And it was described as ads.
Okay, wait a minute.
40 minutes of ads before I see my movie.
Right in there is the fundamental issue. What they're talking about is not the previews. They're talking about the Maria Menounos hour of it all.
Which I don't
mind her.
I love to get there for the Maria Menounos hour.
Listen,
I'm sorry.
Like the Super Yaki t-shirt says, show up early for Maria Menounos. But here's the thing.
That was the thing. That's very funny.
It's a t-shirt and it's great.
Is that AMC specific?
I don't know.
It's probably AMC specific, I guess.
There are some things that are like heavily advertisements in there.
Sure.
You'll get your Coke commercials, your car commercials, things like that.
Those are fine. But they were talking about previews. They were talking about the actual coming attractions for movies.
But when you say 40 minutes, that's untrue.
I know.
You are talking about the things in the beginning that are the advertorials that, yes, of course they're advertisements. You don't need to show up that early anymore. Basically, every movie theater has assigned seats. If you show up that early, you are opening yourself up to advertising.
I love the movie theater previews. And there were people in the responses that were all like, it just, and it extends my movie going experience by this much. And I'm like, that's great.
Yeah.
I don't know. For me, especially now, especially post-COVID, which COVID is not over, but post-quarantine, peak pandemic.
Yes.
Going to the movies is such a special little treat. It is such a an experience. Like I have blocked out time. This is a special thing I'm doing for myself.
Yes.
I want as much of it as possible.
There's a magic in this place, as Nicole Kidman says.
Yeah. In her sparkly suit.
Yeah.
I go for the Maria Menounos hour. I watch the whole thing. I like to get to the movie early enough that it's still okay to talk.
Yeah.
Because it's okay to talk during the Maria Menounos hour.
Of course.
Before the lights go down, before the real previews start.
Here's a look behind the making of this thing.
I like to watch.
You can talk during that.
I like to watch like B-list celebrities that are small parts in movies get quizzed.
Yeah.
All of it.
That's
I like every bit of it.
I used to show up early back in the day, like before the assigned seating and everything. I used to show up early back in the day, and I used to love, before it was even video, they would just show like movie trivia on a slideshow. You remember that? It was just like, they would just show slides, and then every once in a while in between those slides was an advertisement for a local business. Yeah. This shit is not new.
The indie theaters around here still do that.
Yeah. The indie theaters, the dollar theaters, things like that.
Yeah.
I
love it.
I think it's cool if you show up to like a one of the they're basically the Tarantino owned theaters here in town. Your places like your Arc Lights, your Beverly, your New Beverly's, all of your like classic single screen movie theaters.
Yeah.
They run like old trailers. They run like old trailers that are themed for the movie that you're going to see.
I love it.
And they show like an extra 30 minutes of them.
Yeah.
If you don't, this stuff is totally optional, everybody.
100% opt in.
When you say 40 minutes, you're talking about the opt-in time that you don't need to be there.
Yeah.
Go get yourself a snack. Walk around a little bit. When you want to go into the movie theater, go in like 15 minutes beforehand. Watch the real trailers.
Yeah.
If you don't want to see Maria Menounos, number one, a pox on your house. And number two, you don't have to.
You don't have to. It's totally okay. But I love it. There's a lot of people that are agreeing that they love the trivia. They love all that stuff. One person did call me insane for it.
Sure.
And also, this was
They laughed
interesting.
at me at the university. They said I was mad.
MJ Sano said, assigned seating, is that a California thing? Is it?
No.
Almost all of our theaters are assigned seating. When you buy your ticket online, you choose your seat.
Yeah, I think AMC does it for sure, and that's a national chain. Regal does
But
it.
I wonder if AMC does it everywhere.
I think, yeah. I mean,
don't know.
I've been in other states and I've done it with friends.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not everywhere, but big chains are basically do that now.
Yeah. The Tension says, I've never heard of not assigned seating in the UK. AMC does it in Detroit. Yeah. I'm in Canada. It's assigned too. So
Yeah, it may just be the movie theater near you that doesn't do it, but a lot of the major chains do it now because why wouldn't you?
Yeah, I haven't been to like, I can't imagine the last time I went to a movie that didn't have reserved seating.
I won't do it.
I don't even know, like all of AMC's are. So
Some of the
some of
the
even our local theaters, even our small local theaters have assigned if you book online.
the one in Los Feliz that just the Vista, the one that Tarantino just bought.
Yeah.
Sometimes those like the single screen theaters, they don't have assigned seating, but those are like special theaters. I don't go see like new release movies there. Those are usually like special programs.
Yeah.
And for those, you have to get in early and get your seat. But most theaters here now are assigned. I don't think it's more often than not. I won't go see a new movie in the theater unless I can get a good seat and I know what seat I'm going to be in.
I like to know that I'm going to be in the back, far away from people.
I like to be in the exact center, the geographic center of the theater.
I love the back row. I love the very back row. I love that nobody is behind me. I like that I'm not being perceived. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
You go to more opening weekend movies than I do.
I've just started doing so again.
Yeah.
I signed up for the like AMC A-list thing and now I'm like, fuck it, I'm going.
For that, I could understand wanting to be in the back because it's like when you go in a big crowd for like an opening week.
I like it all the time.
You never know who's going to be around. But like once I get to when I usually see a movie, which is like 2 weeks in.
Yeah.
And also I'll go on a weekday in the middle of the day.
Yeah.
Because, I'm an unemployed man. Then I like to sit in the middle because I like to be at the exact optimal viewing distance.
Yeah.
I like to be in the center of the speaker system. I like that because I got a TV at home. I got a good TV at home.
Yeah.
If I want to go see a movie, I want to have the optimal viewing experience.
See, the optimal viewing experience for me is seeing the whole crowd. My therapist calls it hypervigilance. My therapist says safety, you don't expect safety and it's hypervigilance. And that's why I like to sit in the back row.
She sits with her back to the wall and and facing the door of every restaurant so the mafia doesn't take a hit on her.
Yeah.
She's a bit like a Tony Soprano that way.
Yeah. And a few others.
And a few others.
Yeah.
But yeah, do you know what movie you're going to go see tomorrow? Or tomorrow.
I want to see Wish.
Oh, the new Disney.
The new Disney movie. We have a new Disney princess. It's huge.
Yeah.
That's massive. So I don't know, maybe tomorrow. Oh my God, Thanksgiving's tomorrow. That's so weird.
Yeah.
If nothing else, by like the weekend.
Yeah.
I'd like to see it. I also think about a lot, especially when it comes to the movies that we talk about here, when we talk about like movies led by women and we talk about movies specifically led by women of color so often, like being that situation where people are like, oh, failed the box office first weekend. Fuck that movie. Guess people don't want to see women. I'm trying to contribute.
Yeah, and I think
not like specifically Wish because it's also like a Disney princess movie, but I just mean with movies in general, like the Marvels. I felt very passionate about seeing it opening weekend.
I think now what we think is just that Disney is going to bury any animated movie they put out. That's something over the last few years that Disney's really gotten good at it, like Strange New World or whatever it was, and they've been like basically fridging Pixar movies left and right.
Yeah, I don't anticipate that for Wish. Wish has gotten a lot of promo and hype because
I've seen like billboards and stuff.
And because Wish is a Disney princess movie, which is totally different than just other like Disney or Disney Pixar movies. Like this is a new official Disney princess. So like Disney's going all in on this.
Okay.
I'm not terribly worried about it.
Yeah. No, but when I mean like supporting a Disney movie, that's what I'm more afraid of.
Yeah.
I'm more afraid of them doing that these days.
Yeah, absolutely. What is it? It was Strange World.
Strange World. Strange New World is Star Trek. Strange World is animated.
Which was a great movie.
Yeah.
Strange World was so much fun.
It was very cool. Like what I've noticed throughout my lifetime, people don't like it when Disney does anything kind of sci-fi.
Or gay.
Yeah. People did not like Atlantis. People did not like Treasure Planet.
People came around on Atlantis now.
People did. They have not come around on Treasure Planet and
No.
like, yo.
Everybody just slept on Atlantis, and now it
Come
is
around on Treasure
beloved.
Planet, please. Yeah, one of the big things a couple years ago, I went to the Disneyland has special theme nights for locals. They did a Valentine's like love night, and one of the things you could do was get your picture taken with famous Disney couples or in famous Disney scenes. So you could get you and your partner on the magic carpet. You could get you and your partner in the rowboat during the Lantern Festival of Rapunzel or Tangled. But one of the couples that they had out there that had the longest line, it was like 45 minutes to get your picture. It was Milo and Kiana.
Yeah, that's where all the bisexuals were.
You're a bit of a Milo today.
Thank you.
You're a bit of a Milo most of the time. Yeah, Keena. Yeah. Keena. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate that very much. That feels good for my gender.
I love Milo.
Oh, I love Milo.
Milo. Do you know why I like Milo? Milo is a mix of both leads from The Mummy.
Yes.
That's all Milo is.
100%.
Milo is just Rick O'Connell and Evie.
Yeah. As someone who was Evie for Halloween this
Yeah.
year. Yeah. The 2 Bisexual Awakenings movie, animated in live action.
It's amazing.
Yeah. Anyways, we should talk about some news.
Character designs by Mike Mignola. Come on.
Let's see what we have coming up today. Even though you've already probably sat through about 25 minutes of this show, I'm still going to give you a little preview of what's to come. Maybe Eminem to Fortnite.
Spaghetti.
We're going to talk about,
Spaghetti,
just briefly,
spaghetti.
I promise, Matt Rife being an absolute
spaghetti.
trash man.
Spaghetti.
We're going to talk about some egg conspiracies and other various snack-related conspiracies and backlash.
We have Superman, huge Superman casting news.
Yeah.
And we have 2 games that we thought were gone are apparently not gone yet.
Yeah.
Which is exciting.
And so much more.
So much more.
Too early.
Ba-na-ba-na-ba-na-ba-na.
We should make a little stinger,
Yeah.
but I want to use that exact audio that I just did.
I want to do, we should do previews for the next episode, and they should always be fake.
Yeah, because we don't know what the news is going to be next
Anime
episode.
style.
Next time on It's Too Early.
It's Too Early.
All right.
My
Sonic
head's
is going to be barefoot in the next game.
My head's all JoJo.
Yeah.
It's all JoJo
I can
right
tell.
now.
Okay, where do you want to start, Anthony? Should we start with the headline of the show?
You'll have to remind me what that is.
Title of the show.
Was that the Fortnite?
Yeah.
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 Let's start with it then.
There's a big Fortnite leak.
There's an official announcement and a leak at the same time.
I only care about the leak.
Yeah, the official announcement is the Big Bang event. So Fortnite has, of course, restarted its universe. Over the last month, the original Fortnite map was reinstated. And as the month has gone on, they've been rushing through every chapter, reinstating the Fortnite universe. And on December 2nd, the Big Bang event is happening, which what's going to happen? We don't know. It's going to be so crazy. But according to the leaks, number 1, it's the biggest update Fortnite's ever done at 2 gigabytes.
1.5, yeah.
Woo!
That's the biggest update Fortnite's ever done.
Well, remember when you
gig and a half?
when you download Fortnite, you download the skillion gigs.
Yeah.
So 2 gigs is a pretty big update.
Sure. Yeah. And then it is also rumored to be featuring Lego. There was a post from Lego that had like a little Lego llama. So we know that Fortnite is coming to Lego, but we have rumors that Lego is also coming to Fortnite.
Dude, the Lego games, I know you just recently got dipped your toe into some of the bigger Lego games, like the Lego Star Wars and stuff.
Yeah, I had played some of the past ones, but
Yeah.
I did play the Skywalker Saga most recently. But that's been a while now. I think that would have been like,
That was last year,
yeah,
but
loved that game so
it's
much.
so good. Like putting together, collecting all the buttons and putting things together.
Loved that game.
If they manage to put those mechanics
Into their build mode.
into a Fortnite,
Ooh, that'd be very fun.
into a Fortnite mode,
I could play Fortnite for that.
that would be wild. I
could
would
potentially
definitely
play
jump
Fortnite
in
for that.
It would have huge repercussions in the game industry too, because Traveler's Tales, of course, is the Lego minds that makes all those games.
Yeah.
If a lot of that functionality made it into Fortnite, What would that do to future Lego games? I'm very interested to see. I think it's going to be more like cute little items and some merch.
Yeah.
But it's fun to wildly speculate.
Yeah, why not? They also anticipate potentially a rhythm mode.
Everything I do is in rhythm mode, baby.
And racing mode, which racing makes sense. We've had vehicles for some time. So like having a little racing, yeah. That's rhythm mode. It's too early. Rhythm mode.
I'm in rhythm mode.
Wow. You can really dance.
Wow. You can really dance.
Anyways, and then, as you may have seen in the title, Eminem, for some reason.
It's a big update for Saige's.
That's
Lego
so
and Eminem.
funny. I think that's so funny.
Why is it? I don't think it's any funnier than anything else that's been in Fortnite.
No, it's so much funnier. Because there's no reason for it. Ariana Grande was the biggest thing in the world at the time. Nicki Minaj, okay. Coming to Fortnite, right? All of these celebrities have like big album drops that they're promoting.
Might be a new Eminem album dropping.
There's been 100 new Eminem albums in the last 8 years.
Yeah.
And I say this as somebody who, no joke, and I'm truly revealing myself here, I had a shrine to Eminem in my room as a child. I was a messed up kid. Again, my therapist said. I had a literal shelf.
Your therapist's not supposed to tell you that you're messed up.
Yeah, well.
Your therapist is supposed to kind of put that differently.
Yeah. I had a bookshelf, and an entire shelf was dedicated to, and I really do mean a cartoon style shrine of Eminem, like biographies and like merch and like. I went to one Eminem concert that I got like free tickets to when I was a teenager, and they were giving out Monster cans.
Yeah.
But they were just water bottles.
Yeah, the ones
Monster
like they
water. Drink on stage.
Yeah, the tour water.
I had the tour water on the shelf in my shrine.
Yeah.
I was a freaky kid. I loved Eminem, and I say that
was your equivalent of Gamer Girl bathwater.
Yeah.
Was Eminem Monster Tour Water.
Eminem's Monster Tour Water. So all of that is to say nobody's listening to the new Eminem albums.
No, okay, but can I counterpoint you on this?
Sure.
There are musical guests in Fortnite, and then there are pop culture icon skins in Fortnite. And I think Eminem fits more into the latter. I would argue that Eminem is more like a Goku or an Optimus Prime for Fortnite than he is an Ariana Grande or a
Minaj,
Marshmallow.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, I think it's more than that.
Okay.
I think it's more like everybody... When Eminem like shows up at an award show or does a live performance, it's still a huge deal. People go, "Oh shit, Eminem!"
Yeah.
People aren't buying the albums like you're saying.
Sure.
But people are like, Eminem is a cultural icon,
as a cultural touchstone. Okotoroku said maybe Eminem decided he wanted to be in Fortnite. Who's going to tell him no? Fair.
That's the other thing.
No
right?
one's going to tell him no.
That's why I asked. That's why I asked you before the show started. I was like, "How old is Eminem's daughter Haley now?"
27.
Because I was like, is this somebody in Eminem's life is Fortnite aged?
Well, he does have 2 other girls.
That could be it. It's like when you, big actors start showing up in weird children's franchises.
Yeah.
And you're like, what is going on here? And the actor goes, my kids really like it.
He has 2 other adopted daughters.
They could be into Fortnite.
They could be. And I just want to also be perfectly honest that when Anthony said, how old is Haley now? And I said 22 days younger than me. Because that'll never leave my brain. Rip to your phone.
Fuck that phone anyway.
So, you know.
iPhone 15's old. It's old news.
It's old news now.
Where's the 16?
Yeah.
Where's the 16, Tim?
I'm trying to hold out for it. It's Black Friday week, and I'm so tempted to buy an iPhone.
You have a 14. You gotta wait.
I don't need it. You gotta wait. I have to do every other but the camera.
You gotta wait.
She is a Christmas Day kid. That's correct, and that's why I remember it. Anyways, yeah, he's not the cultural force he was 2 decades ago, but his last album went platinum. Wow.
See?
All right.
So it's still happening.
It's still happening.
I would say that this is somebody who is a cultural icon, still going platinum, still has a lot of cultural clout.
Yeah.
Probably just making a little reach out. This is a perfect marketing reach out to a younger generation.
Yeah.
That doesn't know as much about him. And makes them go, oh, Eminem, all right.
Okay, all right.
Like Gen Z and Gen Alpha goes, oh, okay.
I think it's pretty funny. I think it's pretty weird, pretty funny, pretty random.
Eminem from Fortnite, the same way they know so many other characters
Yeah,
from Fortnite.
like Superman from
Superman
Fortnite.
from Fortnite.
Yeah. Hey, there's a little bit of Superman news, actually.
Just a little. As the resident Superman fan in the house, pretty exciting news. Superman Legacy. We already had our Clark and Lois.
Of course, but there's been some big casting news.
David Cornswet and Rachel Brosnahan as Clark and Lois. David Cornswet, by the way, was showing off, like he's doing that thing now where he's doing the social media posts showing off his Superman journey.
Yeah.
And can I tell you what? They really did just recast Henry Cavill.
It is very strange that he is just also Henry Cavill.
I mean, he's younger. That's the thing, is he's 10, 15 years younger.
No, he's not 15 years younger.
He's at least 10 years younger than Henry Cavill.
Okay.
They want a younger Superman.
So he is... How old is he?
13, and he is on some steroids, but he claims he's all natty.
Usually when you Google someone's age, it just like Google tells it to you. It's not coming up. 30.
30. And I think Henry Cavill's hitting 40 something now.
Wow.
Yeah. So they just want somebody that they can have for like a decade before.
He's exactly 40.
He's exactly 40. So there's a difference in between 30 and 40 and how quickly somebody ages,
Yeah.
how quickly their face changes and how quickly they age. And I think they just want somebody they can make a few movies with. I think they should just use fucking Henry Cavill.
I agree.
However, we got other huge casting news.
Yeah, for lots of other characters.
We have our Lex Luthor, who was somebody who's been rumored from the beginning.
Yeah.
Nicholas Holt.
However, he was also rumored to be up for Superman initially, and we talked about that a while ago when
Yeah.
people were like, "Wow, he really fumbled the bag not getting Superman." He was not Superman.
When you're so good that they have you try out for both, you're not fumbling anything.
I love Nicholas Holt.
Nicholas Holt's great.
Like every time.
Yeah.
I can't name a bad performance he's ever done.
Do you know he also auditioned for the Robert Pattinson version of the Batman?
Yeah, I do know that because remember we covered it because everybody was freaking out and they were like, "Wow, he missed out on being Batman and Superman. Like that's gotta hurt." And it was really shitty. Everybody was really shitty about it.
They were. I mean, look, I don't think people were trying to be shitty. I think some people were, but I think some people were just like, that sucks, man. Because we all have that dream, right? A little bit. Not everybody, but like, isn't there a character where like,
Sure.
wouldn't it be neat if you were asked to be this character in a movie?
Yes, but
You know, but also
he can read the tweets.
he can.
Don't do that.
He shouldn't. Hey, Nicholas Holt, don't go online. Nobody go online. But-
Anyways, Nicholas Holt is Lex Luthor.
And he's going to be a great Lex Luthor.
Yeah.
He's going to be an amazing Lex Luthor. He's a brilliant actor. And also what's fun is a bunch of the other Lex Luthors reacted to the casting. You know, they'll ask people.
Yeah.
And basically everybody they asked was like, ooh, that's a good choice. Like he's going to crush. Like that's pretty.
Yeah.
We also got James Jimothy Olsen, Superman's pal.
Yeah.
Who's going to be Skyler Gando, who is in Things.
I did a commercial with this kid.
Did you really?
When I was maybe 10.
That's so funny.
Fun fact. I went to probably his 10th birthday party.
That's so funny. Skyler Gando, your old friend Saige says, "Come on into It's Too Early."
Yeah,
and
I do?
talk
Do I
about,
say that?
Yeah, talk about being.
Do I say that?
Talk about being James Olsen.
Yeah.
And if you want to bring any of your other friends with you, you know, like Rachel Brosnahan, that'd be great. So you may know him from The Righteous Gemstones, where he's been on The Righteous Gemstones for the last few years. He also, in a surprising piece of superhero knowledge that my brain is burdened with, he was Gwen Stacy's little brother at the dinner table in The Amazing Spider-Man. Which is a dumb thing that my brain knows.
That's fun.
So he's going to be Jimmy Olsen, which I think is great.
Santa Clarita Diet. That's the thing. Yeah.
He was in that too?
He's like one of the main characters, I believe, in the Santa Clarita
I only watched like the
Diet.
first season of it.
I didn't see any of it, but I think he's a significant character in that.
He's the sweet. Is he the sweet friend? Is he the sweet friend of the daughter? Because if so, I liked him. We also have our Miss Tessmacher.
Yeah.
Eve Tessmacher. Now, I'm just going to point something out here. Sarah Sampaio is now Miss Tessmacher, and they immediately, every headline says, Victoria's Secret model Sarah Sampaio.
Okay.
Which, like, yes, but she also was just recently in At Midnight, that rom-com on Paramount Plus.
Yeah.
She was in the movie The Clapper with Ed Helms and Amanda Seyfried. She was in Billions. She's been in things,
Yeah.
but it's one of those things where it's like, hey, we saw this hot lady in her underwear once.
Yep.
Do you remember when we saw this hot lady in her underwear? That's who she is now.
Yeah, that just makes the better headline for something like The Hollywood Reporter or Variety or whatever.
But anyway, she is going to be Eve Tessmacher. Now, the fact that they went with Miss Tessmacher is interesting to me. I know you don't care, but follow me for a little bit.
I'm with you.
There are two canonical assistants, assistants, basically right-hand lieutenants of Lex Luthor. In the movies, created by the Richard Donner created the character Eve Tessmacher. Miss Tessmacher was Lex Luthor's assistant, and she was hot and dumb. Okay. Then Miss Tessmacher was brought back in the J.J. Abrams movies as Parker Posey and Miss Tessmacher, and then she was also in Supergirl. Miss Tessmacher was in the Supergirl TV show, and every subsequent director has made her smarter, cooler, better.
Okay, cool.
Which is great. But if you're somebody who's a fan of the comics or the animated series, Mercy Graves is Lex's assistant. Mercy Graves is like, even you probably have seen her. She's the kung fu chauffeur who fucking runs everything. She's a badass. She's unbelievable. We love Mercy Graves. And I'm just a little bummed that they went with Miss Tessmacher instead of Mercy, although I'm sure they're going to blend the two characters together.
Yeah.
But Mercy Graves fucking kicks ass.
Yeah. So I recognize animated Mercy Graves. And that makes sense. But yeah, that is interesting.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's just like they're seeing this line of like, well, people will know her from other live action adaptations, so we have to keep going.
Yeah, I think it is one of those things where it's like, here's one character that represents both, but it's a fun wink and nod to the previous films.
Yeah.
Which I think is good. This is a solid cast.
This is a solid cast.
This is a great cast. I hope this movie's good.
I hope it's good too. I really do. As somebody who has never particularly enjoyed Superman, I'm always open to enjoying Superman. I always want to.
Yeah.
It just hasn't happened for me. I love Henry Cavill as an actor as Superman.
Yes.
But I didn't enjoy the movies.
No, the movies were... Superman is ultimately about joy and optimism, and that's not something that Zack Snyder really
any interest in doing.
Yeah, didn't really want for the DC movies.
Yeah.
Which is what made that Aquaman such an outlier. Is it was just like, here's a guy having fun.
Yeah.
And then Zack Snyder was like, yeah, he's having fun, but could he also be an alcoholic? It's like, well, do we have to focus on that? We don't have to, but what if every time I put him in one of my movies, he's an alcoholic?
And it's like, I guess you could be doing that. I don't see why you would, but
I don't know. What if he's just like fun-loving dude who winds up being king of the sea? That's fun. I don't know.
But he's got daddy issues.
But he does have daddy issues.
So,
Any superhero go to therapy challenge.
Any man go to therapy challenge, in fact. Which almost makes me jump, but we should finish other news first.
Yeah.
Because I do want to jump to other stories about men that need to go to therapy.
Yeah. A lot of people saying like, I don't know if I'm going to like Superman. I don't like Superman. I would say if you don't like Superman, watch #1, the new cartoon, My Adventures with Superman. That's a fun cartoon. It's Superman as a magical girl. I would say give the CW's Superman and Lois a try. It's Lois and Clark married and raising children and having issues with just raising one of them as a special needs kid. And it's just about what Superman is like as a dad, and it's a good show.
Okay.
There's some good stuff. I'll drop some more recs in the Discord, but there are ways to make Superman interesting.
Okay, all right. Do you want to talk about a little bit of games?
Yeah, let's talk about some games.
Let's talk about a couple of games, shall we?
Let's do it. Like, let's talk about games.
What even games? You want to talk about?
Well, let's talk about let's talk about some big news in games that we thought were canceled.
Yeah.
For the last couple weeks, we've been hearing so much about games being canceled. The first one, of course, being the KOTOR remake by Aspyr. We heard that the KOTOR remake is done. It's over.
That's what we thought.
The development has ground to a halt. Aspyr has only ever done ports. They never should have given Aspyr their own game to make, blah, 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 blah,
JK.
blah, blah, blah. JK, 2 employees of Aspyr told Jason Schreier that they are indeed still working on KOTOR. It's still happening.
Cool.
Good. Good.
Yeah.
Look, KOTOR's a big game.
Hope so.
Modernizing a big game like that, even if it's not supposed to be a huge AAA release, even if it's considered a AA release in terms of the schedule and the budget,
Yeah.
you cannot front on how huge a game KOTOR is. That's a BioWare game.
Oh my God. Yeah. And people were really disappointed to hear it was potentially canceled.
Yeah, you gotta do a lot of work to modernize an old BioWare game.
Yeah.
Everything's got to be changed.
Yeah.
So then they also announced that they were like re-recording the VO. Like, this is a ground up remake.
Good.
Like, Jennifer Hale is coming back as Bastilla Shan. So like, they're re-recording stuff. So it's gonna take a while, especially with an inexperienced studio. I'm glad to hear that it's still in the works.
Yeah.
That's a fun game, and bringing that game to a new generation of Star Wars fans, I think, is huge.
But we're probably quite a few years away from that.
Yeah. Don't rush it and don't worry about it. When it happens, it happens.
2025?
Sure. Why not?
Maybe 2025?
Maybe 2025.
Maybe 2025.
But another one that was supposed to be coming out and has been troubled for a very long time was Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time.
The remake of The Sands of Time.
We heard that was dead. Like, I think we
Yeah.
heard that was dead in the beginning of this year.
Well, and that's because we got that other Prince of Persia game, which everybody was waiting for the announcement of the Sands of Time remake, and they were like, have this instead.
Yeah, and people after that Prince of Persia trailer were asking Ubisoft, what's going on with Sands of Time? And they kept saying, what's going on with what? Sands of Time? No, hey,
What?
you were working on that Sands of Time remake? No. Hey.
What?
What's happening with the...
Were you saying something? Sorry, I just...
No, a question...
I'm going through a tunnel?
So a question about
No,
this
I'm actually going through a tunnel. I
A
can't
question
hear
about
you.
this new game. A question about this new Prince of Persia that you're releasing.
Click.
But the new one. I got a question.
Oh, you can still see me. Shit.
I got a question about the new one.
Well,
When is it coming out in relation to the old one? Fucking gotcha. Ubisoft now for the 20th anniversary of the Sands of Time said, "Hey, we're still working on that remake.
it's coming.
Boy, you know this was supposed to be the release date, huh?"
Yeah. You know that they had to like take some kind of big meeting where they were like, we have to say something.
We can't. It's 20 years.
Yup.
I think because of the pandemic, and because of just the state the games industry has been in since, I think a lot of big anniversaries turned into much smaller anniversaries over the last couple years.
Yeah.
And it's been kind of a bummer. I love the Sands of Time.
Yeah.
It is such a good game.
The statement that they made is very interesting and vague. What they said is, as you know, the passionate team at Ubisoft Montreal is reimagining this legendary story. And we are glad to announce today that the project has passed an important internal milestone and development is progressing. But they don't say what it is.
Nope.
And what do you mean you're proud to announce? You didn't announce anything. You're like...
We're proud to announce that we're squishing your rumors vaguely. We're proud to announce that we're still here, baby.
Anthony, I just wanted to share with you that I have a secret.
Oh, what is it? Hey, what is it?
I'm going through a tunnel. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Look, this thing was supposed to come out years ago.
Oh, yeah.
This was supposed to come out like 2021, 2022. The first delay was December 2020, and then they just gave it an indefinite delay in February 2021.
Which always sounds like game might never be coming.
Well, game developers really have taken indefinite, which used to mean it's like inflammable. Indefinite used to mean it's not happening. It's been canceled indefinitely. Like,
that was the colloquial use of it, but the
Yeah.
actual definition of the word is just without specificity.
Yeah.
Indefinite could be any time.
yeah, they took the colloquial understanding of indefinite and really were like, let's bring it back to the dictionary. And
Yeah.
people were like, you're not making this game.
No.
We know what you're saying.
Yeah,
People were
delayed
like,
indefinitely usually meant never.
never, never, ever.
It meant like, as far as we can see, this game is not coming. But
So it has been shifted from Ubisoft Pune and Ubisoft Mumbai over to Ubisoft Montreal as of last year. It's moved between 3 different developers internally.
Yeah.
This is Ubisoft Montreal, of course, makes the Assassin's Creed games. They made the Assassin's Creed Valhalla. And they said that in May of this year, it moved into the conception phase, which means, number one, it's illegal to terminate the Prince of Persia now in a lot of states in the United States.
Okay.
And number 2, it also means when this changes developers, they're taking it back to formula. Back to formula? They are starting all over again.
Yeah.
It's a fucking remake, guys. The mechanics are there. They work. They're proven.
How far into it do you think that they were, though?
I don't know.
What if they like hadn't really started?
In 3 years?
Yeah.
Woof.
I don't know. Either, because in my opinion, then the 2 options are either they started something and it was really bad, or they hadn't started. Like, it's a remake.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, how far off the mark could they have been?
It depends on, and this goes back to the tricky definition of remake.
And they are calling it reconceptualizing the story, too.
Okay.
I don't know. In that statement.
I don't know, man. I don't know. It just,
Or they say reimagining this legendary story.
yeah.
I don't know. Hard to say.
I mean, look, if they are able to do it in a way where they do the things that the games were never able to do.
Yeah.
Because they made 3 of these Prince of Persia games, and plus mobile ones, whatever. The first one was great, and all people wanted in the second one was like, hey, instead of going to fighting room, running room, or jumping room, it'd be cool if one room could do all those things.
Yeah.
And they never really did that in those games. Instead, they were like, what if instead we turned it from fun swashbuckling fantasy into dark, edgy man? Okay, did you change the gameplay? No. But he's mad now.
Same game, but mad.
Same game, but mad? And people in the early 2000s were like, ooh, okay. I didn't like it before, but now that it's mad.
I do like anger.
Can I have some more bloom lighting? Baby, you know it's all bloom lighting.
You got it.
You got it.
For you?
Will you make
All right.
will you make the game mostly brown and red now?
Yeah. Okay.
I'll buy the shit out of that game.
All right. Games that are not mostly brown and red. Subnotica, mostly blue,
Mostly
in
blue.
fact, is getting a sequel in 2025 that was not announced by social media. It was not announced with a teaser, or a trailer, or a poster, or a graphic.
No.
It was on a financial earnings call.
As a lot of things are announced these days.
So, spotted by Rock, Paper, Shotgun, they noticed that they say there is the next Subnautica, is the only way that it's been referred to, slotted for 2025. Subnautica 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Hey, more drowning in the ocean. You're going to have so much fun with that.
Yeah, Subnautica, further in the ocean.
Yeah.
Subnautica, Eldritch Horrors, Beyond the Deep.
Subnautica, deeper and scarier than before, Saige.
What if this Subnautica was about all of the orcas that kill boats? I've never played Subnautica. I want to be very clear about that. I'm afraid of the ocean.
Nothing where you can drown. Nothing where you can drown. That's
I
not a
can't
Saige
handle
thing.
anything more than the Mario 64 drowning. And as is, I'm going to be honest, it's a little intense.
They went a little more
They
intense
went
than they
a
needed
little
to.
too hard than they needed to, and I cannot handle anything more intense than that.
Yeah.
I can do Sea of Thieves.
His like,
Yeah.
it's like, whoa,
They
Mario.
didn't have to do all that. They shouldn't have done all
They
that,
shouldn't
in fact. I can handle Sea of Thieves, but I don't like the deep ocean. I find that frightening, and I think you should too, actually.
Hey, everyone, be afraid of the ocean.
I don't know, man.
That's a public service announcement.
This is not my irrational fear. This is my incredibly rational fear.
No, listen, the ocean and space are both trying to kill you.
The ocean is canonically terrifying.
Yeah, that's all the ocean is.
Yeah. I don't
We don't
fuck
even
with the
know.
ocean.
We don't even know what's in most of it.
Nope. And that's scary.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
You know, I got invited to a submarine, to one of those small independently built submarines back when I was a science reporter. Slightly better than the one that, recently exploded.
Which some stuff's been found that would imply once again that maybe there were some whales involved.
Maybe.
Maybe they did get a little eated.
But here's the thing. You knew whales were down there.
I'm just saying.
You got a plan for that.
Some new evidence.
But I got invited down in a tiny submarine once.
No.
And I was like, yeah, let's do it. And the only reason we didn't do it is because my producer at the time was like, there's absolutely no way I'm sending my entire crew down in a submarine.
Not a fucking chance.
There's no chance, dude.
There is.
She's like, what? I'm going to send you all down in a submarine. And then what happens? What happens with the submarine if something goes wrong and then you're down there? I was like, well, you'll be down there too. You're our producer. You have to come.
Ow!
And she was like, absolutely not. You're not going.
No amount of money.
You're not going.
There aren't a lot of things that I say no amount of money for. No amount of money to go in a submarine.
Depends on who made the submarine, but I'd
Nope.
consider it.
Never. Ugh.
I don't know. I go in airplanes. I'll go in a submarine. The ocean is just the reverse sky. The ocean is the anti-sky.
I disagree.
That's just science.
It's the
Look it up.
mystery creatures in the ocean that the sky doesn't have.
Oh, sky's got mystery creatures.
Not like the ocean.
Yeah.
You know it's not like the ocean.
Might
the
be.
density at which there are creatures in the ocean is not what the sky looks like.
Sometimes the creatures in the ocean, they don't have any eyes and they can just sense you.
So once again, I say it's pretty different from the skies, dog.
I don't know. There's some weird birds. I'll do it. I'll do it. You ever see a real weird bird? It's weird.
I'll take a weird bird over a mystery sea monster any day. There's sea monsters in there.
Yeah.
We don't have a lot of unknown sky monsters.
You ever see Jimmy James Cameron made a movie called Aliens of the Deep?
No.
It's fucking dope. They used to show it at science centers and IMAX.
No, thank you.
He took his own submarine that he owns with his Titanic money.
He loves submarines.
He loves his submarine. And then he built a special submarine and attached IMAX cameras to it that he could operate from inside the submarine. And then he had a full submarine crew take him down deeper than anybody's ever gone down in a submarine.
No,
and the
thanks.
shit they found down there, Saige, the creatures they simply got on IMAX film, the ocean is fucking wild. They got an undulating weird angel thing that's real. And I was like, that's crazy that exists. I'll go down there. I'll go down there. Anyway, new Subnotica. Some other game stuff that's going on. Hey, Mazel Tov to Starfield on finally getting DLSS.
Just in time.
Just in time to save everybody's opinion of Starfield. The new Starfield update not only gives DLSS, but apparently is supposed to fix the weird eyes on NPCs, their strange dead eyes. You know the strange dead eyes? Josh, you played a lot of Starfield. You know what I'm talking about? Where they walk by you and they've got those weird glassy eyes? It's terrible. It's the whole... Yeah, they just look like they're possessed and waiting for you to interact with them. So
Yeah.
the creature inside of them can tell them what to do.
Yeah, no, they just very glassy eyed. It's horrible.
It's terrifying. This is supposed to fix that and give you DLSS without a patch.
Good for them.
So that's cool.
Josh, they couldn't hear you.
Yeah, I know. I didn't push both buttons. I only pushed one button.
Okay.
This is my thing. I never do all the buttons. It's my shtick.
Imagine, though,
Being seen and heard.
doing all the buttons.
Yeah.
All two of them.
Imagine if you pressed all two buttons.
Look, I pushed all the buttons. I think I can be seen and heard. Back to you.
Thank you. Thanks, Josh. Our roving reporter, Josh.
Yeah.
So that's happening. But in actual mods made by people, there was a developer that made a mod for both Elden Ring and Sekiro that made co-op.
Yeah.
Multiplayer co-op, which I think is so fun. Particularly in Elden Ring, it's fun to play with two people.
Yeah. I'd like to play that.
Yeah. They are now making one for Armored Core 6.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you like your big customizable mechs sliding around and shooting their big guns, what if also friend?
I love that. Friends and mechs? In.
And listen, and FromSoft is pretty cool with these mods. They haven't done anything about them.
Thank goodness.
Because FromSoft is just like, hey, look, have your fun, kids. We're not going to add that in. You add it in. That's fine.
And have a good time with it.
Yeah, have a good time.
If you figure it out, that's awesome.
If it breaks it, then it breaks it. And then you did that.
Yeah, not us.
Not us. Have fun with your friends. We can barely program one game and keep it together. You want us to program a game for two people?
No.
Two people?
No, we couldn't possibly. I mean, fans can.
Fans can do it. Fans can do it.
But we, the development studio.
We just try to duct tape fucking Excel spreadsheets together. That's what we do at FromSoft.
Yeah.
And we do it honestly, we do it and somehow the best games come out. But they are spreadsheets duct taped together. And they always have been.
Yeah.
FromSoft is one of those developers. Elden Ring is a little different just because of like the Sony investment of it all.
Yeah.
And the Sony help of it all. But damn, man. When you play a FromSoft game, you're like, yo, I can see the math, and not in a Matrix way, in a the math is leaking out of this game way.
Yeah. Armored Core sounds way more appealing to me as a co-op game.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's something about that game in particular that I'm like, oh, that would be way more fun with friends. I would be way more likely to play it.
Yeah. It does feel like something. There's something about the way Armored Core is built and the look of it and the mech customization and all that stuff that makes it feel like it should be multiplayer.
Yeah.
You know?
It does.
Like you put together your fun and fancy mech and then it's like, who do I show it to?
Yeah.
Friend, right?
No friends.
No friends.
There are no friends here.
That is also the overriding design principle of all FromSoft games.
No friends
There
here.
are no friends here.
Yeah.
That's the top line of every world they create.
Right.
So tell me about this world you made, Miyazaki. Well, there are no friends here.
Well, the world is dark. There are no friends here.
Nothing likes you.
Yeah.
And the fingies are wrong.
Yeah.
The fingies are wrong and the heads is tiny.
Yeah. There are no friends here. Also, the headline for Subnautica and Stardew Valley.
That's right. Until the co-op release happened. And now, friends everywhere.
I'm talking NPCs mostly.
Oh,
but
NPCs, yeah.
I'm talking characters in the game.
Let's in more game news. Sonic Dream Team, baby.
Yeah.
It's coming December 5th. We're almost at Sonic Dream Team time.
Yeah.
They just keep giving out little details, new screenshots.
I'm excited for it.
I'm so excited.
It feels like a good, for a lot of people, home for the holidays game. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like I brought my Switch home for the holidays. I'm not going home for the holidays, but I feel like that would be the kind of game for it.
Oh yeah. And the Sonic community feels that way too. And they're very weirded out by the Apple Arcade of it all.
Yeah.
Because like, this is an Apple Arcade game.
That's right. Yeah, it's fully Apple Arcade.
It's fully Apple Arcade.
Is it coming to Switch as well or exclusively Apple Arcade?
Right now, it's just Apple Arcade.
That's interesting. And I feel like those two, like coming to Switch and Apple Arcade are a really good combo for this kind of game and not that different. I know that in a development process, developing for a Nintendo system is going to be totally different. But in your like play.
Yeah, no, I think what this is Apple Arcade bought some timed exclusivity. And what we've noticed in the past with Apple Arcade timed exclusivity is they never comment on whether it's going to come to anything else ever.
Yeah.
That's sort of just one of the little clauses in the Apple Arcade announcements.
Which is weird.
I mean, it's not if you're Apple.
It's not if you're Apple, but like it's weird that they get away with that.
Yeah, because on the PC, you can be like, hey, we're exclusive to Epic Game Store for 6 months.
Exactly.
On PlayStation, they'll be like, hey, the only way you're going to get this year is on PlayStation.
Right.
But they're always allowed to say like a little thing, like the only way you're going to get it this year.
Yeah.
But Sonic Dream Team, they are just saying iOS.
And maybe that's it.
And they just released like another animated trailer that looks so freaking good. Now, of course, all Sonic animated trailers look good.
VG247 makes everything so hard.
Yeah, I know.
I said no to cookies, and it's like, well, then you can't see anything. And I'm like,
you
well,
can never see anything.
then just make me have the required cookies.
I'm just gonna go watch it on YouTube.
Don't let me turn off cookies that make your page not load.
Yeah, there's a YouTube link in the article. I brought it up. It'll be on my screen here, Josh.
Why don't you mute that?
Okay.
Like on the video. Or
Yeah,
whatever.
I'm doing it.
Yeah.
I'm muting everything on every way.
Mute everything on every way.
But I will tell you this:
Tell me this.
the music fucking slaps.
Yeah.
But this is the animated intro for Sonic Dream Team. So we know a little bit about the plot of Sonic Dream Team now. Eggman has something called the Requiem. And the Requiem allows you to invade.
dream?
Yeah, for a dream. It allows you
For
to.
a Sonic dream?
It allows you to invade people's dreams and control them. And so now Eggman is controlling the dream world. This trailer is particularly Cream the Bunny heavy. Mm-hmm. Which, hey, good for Cream the Rabbit fans.
When we started talking about Sonic, I saw somebody in chat just go, I saw cream
That's
with like
right.
a bunch of letters. And it took me a minute because I was like, I'm sorry, what? Oh, yeah, the bunny.
Yeah, the bunny.
Rouge!
We got Rouge, we got Amy. We have a new character who's going to pop up here in a second who is of the dream world. And she is Furry Mommy.
Lover. Lover.
Yeah.
Great.
It's in a different style than most of their animated trailers
Very.
are. They've given this game like its own look and feel.
Mm-hmm.
They've really put a lot into this for it's clearly not just a mobile title.
It can't be, right?
It's clearly not. There's no way
It's gotta come to Switch.
Apple did not give them this much money.
It's gotta come to Switch.
I have a feeling it's going to release on just about everything, but for about 6 months, you're only going to be able to play it. There she is.
Yeah. I don't know.
Boom.
I'm very curious, but it looks really good.
It does look good. I'm excited for it. The screenshots and the previous gameplay shots that we've seen do also look really nice.
Yeah.
Apple is trying, of course, to push gaming this generation. They have their headset coming out soon. They have all kinds of like new hardware in their phones and coming to Apple TV.
Yeah.
According to rumors, they have their new games porting toolkit 2.0 that just came out that's supposed to help port PC games and make them. Apple really is like, man, there have been a few times that we nearly had a good market share of games and we fucked it.
Yeah.
We want it.
I mean, they're pushing towards it for OS X, everything. Yeah. Very, honestly, I love it. I'm very excited. Games in more places, please and thank you.
Yeah.
Always a good thing.
And I'm excited to play this game because Sonic Superstars was not great.
No, I didn't play it.
It's not great. It's fine.
I got lucky. You played it, so I didn't have to.
Yeah.
And I do love that very, very much.
And listen, most of the time I'd be like, hey, check it out for yourself. And that's what I'm going to say to all of you. But to my best friend,
No.
she's not going to like it.
No.
We know.
Yeah. Most of us playing games is us texting each other, you'd like this game.
Yeah.
Or you would not like this game. Don't play this game.
Don't play this.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
one of the ones that I texted you about recently was Spirity because it just came out.
Well, we have a little bit about Spirity in this.
What? We have news about that?
Whoa. So yeah, you texted me the other day and you were like, oh man, Spirity is out. You should play Spirity.
Yeah, I don't want to play it,
Yeah,
but I want you to play it and
Yeah.
then tell me if I should play it.
exactly.
Because it's definitely for you.
And look, we're a Steam family.
We are a Steam family.
So,
Though it is on Xbox Game Pass, don't pay for it on Steam, Saige.
well, don't pay for it is kind of the theme of this story. One of the people that's a publisher on Spirity, and I do want to be specific, this is not one of the developers. This is somebody on the publishing team.
Oh, so this is somebody from No More Robots. Okay.
And I just think that's significant, especially when we're talking about indie developers to,
Oh, this is Mike Rose.
Yeah.
Okay, Mike Rose has been in the industry for a good long time. He started off as a writer at indiegames.com, and he's been a publisher for many, many years in the indie space.
So Mike Rose is getting some backlash. He started a Twitter thread just talking about the release week of Spirit Tea. Lots of things about it, but a particular tweet that's getting some attention is one about coverage from different people. So the tweet says, a hugely noticeable thing that happened during this launch was that we got absolutely zero YouTube coverage at all. Go search Spirit Tea on YouTube and you'll see there's just a couple of big videos. Nearly every YouTuber who got back to us wanted money to make a video with a screenshot of 5 videos about Spirit Tea, mind you, that all have like pretty decent views. Said, now look, I get it. That's just how it works now. YouTubers want you to pay them to cover your games. All right, sure. But I just don't want to do that. It feels weird and icky and disingenuous and I just can't do it. So I guess our games just won't get covered on YouTube anymore.
So the tone of this, I think, is the main thing that people have a problem with. The I'm taking my toys and I'm going home of it all.
Yep.
But there are kernels in there of things that are true. The nature of game coverage has heavily changed. The perception of game coverage has heavily changed, right? So it's changed from YouTubers wanting to be like games outlets and journalists who are like, hey, send me product, I review the game, I get paid in giving my journalistic opinion and getting the views and doing the advertising, whatever it is I do about the game. This has changed. YouTubers now are not like video game outlets. They're not like an IGN.
But there are.
It's
just you're reaching out to the wrong people because he said YouTubers, not journalists.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
He didn't say, I reached out to video game journalists and they told me that I'd have to pay for it.
No.
That's pay to play.
Right.
But these aren't journalists you're reaching out to. You said YouTubers.
Well, but this is
His
interesting.
tweet said YouTubers.
This is the perception that I'm talking about when you say journalists are pay to play.
I'm saying if it is a journalist, then it would be pay to play.
Well, but that's not what it was,
But
and that's not what it's supposed to be.
Pay to play.
But journalists aren't either. When you talk about somebody who is a critic covering something for an outlet, that journalist is not supposed to be paid to play. That journalist
makes sense.
Right. That journalist is supposed to be paid by the outlet.
Correct.
The outlet makes money running ad revenue, and what you're supposed to get from a journalistic outlet is an honest opinion that is like, hey, if you send us a game, we will review it. We promise you nothing.
Yep.
Now, there are advertorials. There are things like, hey, IGN First has a month of behind the scenes of this new game. And you know that's pay to play stuff. And they have to say that.
Yes.
Now, in the beginning, like back when I was doing like a lot of YouTubers were trying to emulate that. And there was a whole thing about journalistic integrity.
Some were.
And most were. That's what I'm saying. Back when I was doing it, most were.
Most that were doing what you were doing were. But people who were just playing games on YouTube, which is the people that like he's hitting up and requesting.
And that's what I'm saying. That's changed over time.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. Back when I was doing it, the majority of YouTubers were people who were like, I am emulating the journalistic thing.
Yeah.
And that's how you sort of got this thing that popped up, particularly, and I'm not associating it with Gamergate, but it's what Gamergate used as their like legitimate crutch, which is you can trust independent reporters more than you can trust outlets. And so it became like, well, now I go and I get all my game stuff from people who are independent.
Yes.
And there was a whole big change where outlets have less and less power.
Yes.
And individuals have more and more power. And now individuals are saying like, listen, I'll take a look at your game. I'll play it on stream. I'll do a let's play.
Yeah.
I'll do whatever. As long as this person isn't specifically calling it a review.
Correct.
Paying for coverage is fine. What Mike is saying is that didn't used to be the way, and it's really weird for him now. And he said it in kind of like a shitty entitled way.
Okay, well, you're 10 years behind, so keep up. And in addition to that, you said you reached out to YouTubers. You didn't say you reached out to journalists. So if you want journalism, reach out to journalists. And 3, he's saying all of these people want to be paid for their work. Now, I'm somebody obviously who is a full-time content creator. It is very frequent that companies hit me up, especially indie devs, and they'll just send a code.
Yeah.
And they'll say, hey, here's a code. I would love it if you would play or stream my game. And then I get to decide if I'm going to do so because you're not paying me. So you can't tell me I have to do it because you're not paying me.
Right.
And then sometimes I get hit up for a brand deal. And those are two separate things. But a brand deal is the only time they can enforce, you need to play it between this time, and we expect to see a video.
Right.
But then sometimes I get hit up by developers and they say, I want you to cover my game. And they try to put it in that perspective for my Twitch channel. Not even it's too early, for my Twitch channel.
Right.
And they're talking to me in this perspective of expecting journalism when A, you did no research on the kind of content I create, and B, you're just asking for free labor.
Yeah.
So a perfect example, Critter Cove is a game that I've been streaming all the time lately. I love that game. They hit me up, they sent me a code, and they said, hey, we'll also give you some giveaway codes for your community.
That's great.
And they made a great game. I've streamed the shit out of it. I have promoted the shit out of it. It's a fantastic game for free. Nobody was paying me to do this. But that is the thing that you have to take is if you don't have any money, then you cannot dictate the amount of time that somebody puts into something. So you have to put it out there and you have to say, I would love it. I would love to see coverage of my game. Here is a code for the game. I hope that you do. And then you cannot ask people to do it. You can't say, will you play my game? Will you make a video?
And
will you stream it? And then you can't get salty when you didn't pay people and then they didn't do a thing you didn't pay them for.
Right.
Because making a video about your content is labor.
No, and that's yes. When you are asking somebody to put something on their channel, it's like, hey, I'm doing work.
And then responding and saying all of them wanted money.
Well, and
yeah, listen, this is their job.
As somebody who has who's worked with Mike a lot and knows how Mike works, I don't think that Mike sent people emails that was like, hey, hey, cover our game, do it this way, blah, blah, blah. Mike is the sort of person that does send out an email that's like, hey, we're making this new game. We think that you'd like it. We'd love it if you'd do some coverage on it. Let us know if you're interested. Like that's the kind of thing that Mike does.
Which is fine to do. Everything in that exchange is fine until you put out a rude tweet saying, well, all of them wanted money, as if people who ask for money in exchange for labor are being greedy.
Yeah.
And like that is an old school digital narrative. And like as somebody who comes from traditional entertainment, film and television, moving into doing digital media, the amount of times and like channels that I've worked at that have been like, oh, people were greedy because they wanted money for their work.
Yeah.
And it's like, I worked for a big YouTube channel that had a big narrative about that, about previous, like, you know, people that they had worked with. And there were too many times that you hear, and it's usually applied to like specific people a lot of the time, but you hear this like continued narrative about how people should just be making online content for free. And it's like, okay, hey, maybe not a time machine. Maybe this isn't a time machine. And maybe it's 15 years since people were able to do that. And maybe people pay their bills with this now and this is their real job and we have to adjust it. Because I understand that at some point people just made YouTube videos for fun and for free.
Yeah.
And I get that. And that's not reality anymore. And you can't like old man yells at cloud. Like it's just giving old man yells at cloud.
It is. And it's like, and once again, I have to say, I think it's more like, it is more about the tone. If he was making a point of like, hey, things sure have changed. Like, 10 years ago, it was more like this. And, now or
you
even
don't have to tweet about it.
Or even 5 years ago, or even 3 years ago.
I think it wasn't.
But I think that there's there is a way to discuss things that are changing, because Mike has always been like a very public person about sharing information about the way the industry works, because he started as a journalist
and saying this is how marketing works now for games and this is what you have to do. But instead he's saying, I can't believe I have to do this.
Yeah, because that's what I'm saying is if he had said something like, yo, the market is changing to the point where like now if you send out and you're trying to get coverage as a small publisher, expect that most people are going to come back and ask for this.
Yes.
And he's like, and he says like, he really is stating it in like an unfortunate way.
So the follow-up tweet is,
I think there's real information there that could have been useful if he literally wasn't he's very disappointed, you can tell. And he let his disappointment turn into sort of like anger and like I'm saying, I'm going to take my ball and go home language.
Normalize inside thoughts.
Yeah.
He continued with, of course, the fact that we still managed to do $1 million launch without any influencer support makes me think, what could we have achieved if I did pay some people? And especially when you say it like that, if I did pay some people, like, do you hear what you're saying?
Yeah.
Like how reasonable that sounds? And then, so maybe I'll be forced to do it in the future, but God, I just really don't want to. It's so fucking ugh. I really just don't want to pay people.
Well, and we don't know who he reached out to. That's the other thing. Like when he says
That's up to
YouTubers,
him.
right? When he said YouTubers, like we don't know what sort of channels he reached out to or how they present themselves. And you know,
reach out to somebody else.
Sure. And
You got to
like
choose that.
who knows how he did it.
Yeah.
All we heard was sort of like that one sort of disappointed part of what happened. I think it's unfortunate the way he stated it. And I do think that there is a kernel of reasonability in the idea of, yo, more and more things are becoming pay for play. And I'm beginning to wonder where people will go to get genuine opinions and things like that. That's not what he stated.
Nope.
But that is what it pops up in my mind.
And then criticize journalistic platforms. You can be specific about that. If you're like, hey, I reached out to a bunch of websites that are reviews.
Yeah.
I reached out to a bunch of, like reviewers and journalists, and this came back. Okay. But if you're going to say YouTubers,
Right.
you're going to be criticized like you wrote the word YouTubers.
Yeah, which encompasses everything.
Yeah.
It encompasses every type of YouTuber.
And when you look at the screenshots of videos that he posted, they're not like even reviews of the game. It's like, oh, I played the first 30 minutes of this game. Or like, it's just like playthroughs too.
Right.
So it's like, come on, man. I just think that like to still in almost 2024 be in a position where you don't see people creating content around your games as labor is not like, oh, we're scrappy and indie. It's honestly like that's peak capitalism of like, well, your job's fun, so you shouldn't get paid for it. We need to get paid for our job, but not yours. Like, it's not like, that's not scrappy in the way that I think a lot of like old man yells at clouds, old school games people are, where they think like, oh, we used to be in this for the good of the game. And I'm like, well, you got paid. You just said $1 million opening. And I understand that's not like a ton of money. You're paying an entire development team. But to put money in there and be like, well, we still did $1 million opening weekend. I'm like, well.
Yeah. And I think.
And I just can't believe I'd have to pay people.
And I think something
it's marketing.
Right. And I think something that people aren't seeing because it wasn't stated in there and they don't know Mike. And this is one of those things where it's like context does help. Mike comes from a journalistic background. Mike, I think, mostly reaches out to people that he considers to be journalistic or reviewers. That's like his main list that he reaches out to. So I think for him,
don't know it. We just don't know that.
Right. But we don't know either way. But
I know what he said in his tweet.
Right. Exactly. And that's what I'm saying as somebody who has more context about Mike, his career, the way he works. As somebody who has been on the receiving end of those emails, as somebody who knows his history as a publisher and as a journalist, I see more of what he was trying to say. And it's one of those things where it's like, look, man, you said the wrong fucking thing and you said it the wrong way. I know what you meant to say and I'm giving you a little more credit because I know you. And
I understand that. I still think that like, there's kind of no way that this tweet is like rewritten that makes it not at least somewhat shitty though. Like there is no way that you like recontextualize this that doesn't become something where it's still a little bit like shitty to creators.
Well, but we did a minute ago when we said if he had stated the way marketing works now is this is a big change. This is something we're going to
totally different state. Like that's a totally different sentiment. I mean, if making this sentiment, there's no like contextualizing what he
I think it's the public statement versus the private feelings. And he posted his private feelings.
Normalize inside thoughts.
Well, sure.
Normalize inside thoughts.
Sure. Or if you're a PR guy, and this is the one thing that I will say to Mike as somebody who's a PR guy and somebody who was a journalist and somebody who's been in publishing for years now, he's got to know that he has too many followers and his position in this company now means that he can't post those private thoughts anymore the way he used to on Twitter. Too many people follow him. Too many people, you know how it is. Like the more followers you get and the more people are watching, the more you have to be like, what should I publicly say versus what I feel? And you're right.
And I think about it too, where I'm like, if a friend of mine who had a game said that to me privately, I would be like, hey, you sound like an asshole. And you should not say that. And you should reconsider. And you should maybe educate yourself on how much work goes into people making this content and how like, YouTubers are now entire marketing teams and like everything that gets put into making a video about something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Even if it was little private thoughts to friends, if a friend said that to me, I would be like, you're being a jerk and you need to reconsider actually.
Yeah. Hey man, things have changed and I know that you're hurt.
Yeah.
Like listen, I'm not saying at no point have I said that he made a good statement or he made a statement the right way.
Yeah.
But I do also like, you know, in the chat here when we're seeing billionaires when they have to pay fair wages.
That's clearly not a billionaire.
Like that's not No More Robots is legitimately like a very small company. It's like 5 people on the publishing end.
I think that was more of a statement of a couple of things that were being talked about with capitalism in the chat. I don't think that was actually about this individual. I think that's an out of context read.
I think this is a dude who made the wrong statement and it's an unfortunate statement, but I can tell you, not a shitty dude who does business in a shitty way. As somebody who has done business with him and knows a lot of developers and journalists that have relationships with him.
If you want work, pay people for it. That's all.
Sure. I think so too.
Yeah, that's all. And again, we specify that this is a publisher as to say to not hold it against the developers of this game.
Yeah.
It's still a game I intend to check out. But like things like that do potentially affect my interest in something like streaming it.
And that's the thing is he has to know when he's on Twitter that he's speaking as a publisher.
Exactly. Like something like that makes me not want to stream the game. Unfortunately,
put it on your private, dude. If you want to say that.
On my list upcoming of games to potentially do a stream for it. I'm like, unfortunately, if you do something that comes across as attacking creators, you're gonna get in a rough spot with creators.
Yeah, this is Mike's like, yeah.
Anyways,
I get
continuing, just while we're in it, so that we can come back up. Let's talk about one truly garbage man. Let's talk about one that's really actually garbage, shall we? Let's talk for just a moment, if you will, about Matt Rife. Matt Rife, as I referred to on TikTok as Clef the Boy Chin Wonder, an absolute trash man garbage person that blew up on TikTok initially for his like crowd work.
I fucking hate crowd work on TikTok.
Yeah.
I'm over crowd work on TikTok.
Yeah.
Crowd work does not make you funny. Crowd work just means that when that just means that you can make fun of people or when people make fun of you, you can answer them. There is nothing about being a comedian. It drives me nuts. It drives me nuts that and comedians that I know now are like, if I post a joke, it doesn't matter. I have to post crowd work. The only thing people want to see is crowd work.
Yeah. Well,
and it encourages rudeness in performers and it encourages rudeness in audiences.
Yeah, it
like
does.
a real breakdown. Like hecklers are at an all-time high now in theaters.
Yeah, well, this trend worked out really well for Matt Rife because he doesn't actually tell any funny jokes. So fortunately, he didn't have to post any jokes leading up to him getting a Netflix comedy special.
First of all, fucking congrats to you, bud.
The man who looks like Squidward after he was hit by a door has previously made statements about how it's unfair to be an attractive comedian. And it's really hard when you're so handsome to be a comedian because everyone thinks you're just hot and not even funny. And it turns out it's because he's not funny.
Yeah. Didn't you just told me like his whole special starts off with like a horrible
so
gag.
that's what the news piece is during his Netflix comedy special that he just got that Netflix posted to their platform and approved. He opened his set with a joke about domestic violence. The joke, essentially, in summary, is about being at a restaurant in Baltimore, I think it was, where the hostess had a black eye. And they continued to make jokes about how they should be hiding the woman in the back, about how people shouldn't have to see her face with that, about how it was very obvious how she got it. To his friend replied, like, they should at least put her in the kitchen. And he said, if she knew how to cook, she probably wouldn't have a black eye.
Yo, my guy, that is absolutely not the bit.
And
my
then,
guy, that is not the bit.
And then he followed up by saying, I was just testing to see if you guys were going to be a cool crowd.
You know what I mean by cool. Cool is when you see
hitting women.
Cool is when you see somebody that you suspect is in an abusive situation and you dunk on them instead of being like, hey, it looks like this woman might be in an abusive situation.
Yeah.
Should we do anything? Or is it our business? What can we do? Oh, why don't we make fun of the fact that women should be in the kitchen is what it is.
Yeah.
Cool, bud. That's a cool audience.
And saying if she knew how to cook, a man wouldn't have hit her.
Cool, bud.
I personally think rocks should be thrown at Matt Rife. But
Saige, did you consider the joke is good, but people don't like it when he says it because he's so handsome?
Well,
if somebody less handsome had told that joke, people would have really laughed.
You know what's so interesting about this? Matt Rife, up to this point, has had a primarily female audience from his TikTok crowd work. Women loved Matt Rife. Especially like middle American white women loved Matt Rife.
Oopsie.
And there's a commentary there of unnecessary to get into of what
I don't like
women
that.
identify in
I don't
men,
like
but
that. I don't like the subtext of that at all.
Nope. He was very popular with women up to this point because a lot of people did find him attractive. And like, you know, just because I don't see it, that's fine. And then he got so insecure about being liked by women that all the other men might not think he's a funny man because women like him, that he went out of his way to make a comedy special that would be clear that he's not. And he put out a statement saying, I do not pander to women.
My dude.
I do not pander to women with my comedy. In fact, this special is mostly for the guys.
My dude, you have a gigantic built-in audience that took you from nothing to Netflix.
Correct.
You shut your fucking mouth and understand who your audience is and be comfortable with your success and the way you got it. You are speaking to people. They are listening. They are invested in you.
Yeah.
That is the goal as a performer.
Yeah.
Now, I could understand if you're like, hey, I'm putting out some content, and this is something Matt Rife, I think, is going to have to deal with in the next couple months. I'm putting out content, and it's attracting a toxic and terrible audience. What is it about me that's doing that? I should change my content. That's fine. And you will find that out, Matt Rife.
No, he's going to love the kind of people that like this. Matt Rife hates women so much he'd rather have no audience at all, is it? At the end of the day, he looked around and he went, I'd rather be liked by no one than women. That's how much he doesn't see women as people, that he decided to open his special with this. And then he posted on his Instagram and doubled down, Anthony, because they always fucking double down. And he posted a Instagram story that said, like, if you've ever been offended by something I've said, click here to fix the problem. And the link said, my apology. And then it went to disability helmets. It went to special needs disability helmets on the link.
So here's my question. So number one, the fact that this guy got famous off crowd work, not surprising. This is why we need to stop making people famous off crowd work. Because crowd work is just, I mean, look, there are people that do good crowd work, but good crowd work is basically like you tell one joke, you move on, you tell one joke and it segues into a joke that you were already going to tell, or somebody's heckling and you shut them up in a way that everybody finds amusing and you move on. That's supposed to be crowd work. The fact that people are making entire careers off of who's the next person that I'm going to dunk on.
Correct.
This is exactly what you get, is you get this kind of person who's famous. This is what you wanted.
Men stop becoming comedians and start going to therapy challenge. And also, hey, when we think about this, we know there are horrible men, obviously. And we know that like deplatforming is possible to a very almost small extent because he'll be popular within the horrible incel fandom he's going to attract. But you know who should also be held accountable for this?
Netflix?
Netflix,
who keeps giving comedy specials to kind of like the worst people?
To dangerous men. Yeah. So everybody, here is your reminder, if you haven't already or if you restored it at some point in the middle, that you can cancel your Netflix subscription and that everything that you want to watch that's on Netflix is available elsewhere. And this is pretty much the only power that you have in dealing with mega corporations, is hurting them with your wallet. It is the truly only way that we can make any difference in most of these kinds of things. And Netflix has continually shown that they are willing to endanger people in the name of making a little bit of money on a comedy special. And now you might think like, oh, okay, well, Matt Rife didn't hit this woman, but you know what this does, right? We know what a platform does when you enable and promote violence, right?
This is normalizing and spreading this opinion. It's ha funny. Ha funny. Even if we're like, we're joking about the fact that she needs to be put in the kitchen. It's just a joke. It's a joke that we say. Something that the fucking edgelord community has been learning and needs to continue to fucking learn is when you say something as a goof, and the goof is that I'm saying something horrible, it's no different than saying a horrible thing.
Correct.
You are just trying to protect yourself in the armor of it's just a goof.
Yep.
Make up another goof. Make up another goof that doesn't spread horrible opinions about people and change the safety of communities.
His entire set was deeply unfunny recycled materials that literally not one person has been able to defend as actually a funny piece of media, even if they were okay with jokes about violence against women. So also in that, I'm like, hey, pick a struggle, buddy. You can't look like you got hit by a door, be unfunny, and come across like a violent asshole. Pick a struggle. Pick a struggle, asshole. Anyways, that's why you've probably been seeing a lot of this guy's name around. And the reason I wanted to talk about it is just as a reminder, just like cancel your fucking Netflix.
Yeah.
Just cancel your fucking Netflix.
I was not aware of this dude until you put this in the you put this in the spreadsheet. I'm just like, oh, it's just that why is there one of these guys every 3 years in comedy? Every 3 years, one of these guys rises up as like King Edgelord, and he's just around, and you can't get rid of him for another 3 to 5 years.
I hope that because this was his first comedy special, this just completely kneecaps it and he's done. I hope that that's it.
Yeah.
I really do hope that there is nowhere to go from here. And may he never have a day of peace in the entire rest of his miserable life.
Forever and ever. Amen. Should we end? I know we're running a little behind, but
We're so behind.
But should we end with one piece of pretty good, like cool news?
Yeah.
This is some huge cool news from over at the Star Wars Factory. Lucasfilm, disclaimer, I do a lot of work for Lucasfilm. We also cover a lot of Lucasfilm stuff over at Kinda Funny.
I don't work for them.
We like a Star Wars, and I think this is a great thing that happened in a Star Wars. Dave Filoni is now the chief creative officer of Lucasfilm and will officially be planning the future of the Star Wars franchise.
I love that. I love this as a move to unify the continually expanding universe. I love knowing that there is a voice that we have trusted that has handled Star Wars well, that is overseeing the like greater plan as the Star Wars universe continues to expand, to keep this like united and like clear idea and vision for Star Wars together.
Yes. Since the Disney Plus stuff, we have really seen Dave's ability. We already knew that he has a great vision for Star Wars. He's an encyclopedia of Star Wars, but not just that. He knows how to make new things work within the lore and the story and the timeline. With the Disney Plus stuff, he has been able to prove that not just can he do that, he's also great at assembling the talent that needs to execute that vision.
Yeah.
And we already knew that for animation. And even though like, hey, because he can do it for animation, it should follow that he can do it for whatever. But studio executives and investors don't always see that.
Yeah.
And the last few years has really given him the ability to show that off in different mediums.
Yeah.
In a way that like, I think like a lot of the Star Wars Disney Plus stuff is some of the best Star Wars stuff to come out.
I agree.
Not all of it, but I think a lot of it is.
I agree.
And I think what this means is, number one, we're going to see less of Dave writing and directing individual things. He'll probably, he might write pilots or first episodes or
pop in for an episode here and there.
Key episodes.
A finale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He might still direct a few things, but I think what we're going to see is him move into more of a what people think of Kevin Feige as for Marvel Studios.
Yeah.
He's going to oversee everything, and he's going to make sure that the right talent is connected to the right project to do the right thing for Star Wars at the right time.
I feel really good about that. I'm glad it is somebody that has moved through the like Star Wars pipeline and made a bunch of things that we love. I'm glad it's somebody that loves Star Wars.
Yep.
Like we know Filoni loves Star Wars.
Yeah.
Which is like kind of the dream there. And when you get into these like very high level roles, sometimes you see just like corporate executives get put in them that are not actually people that came up as part of the creative team. Even when a title is something like chief creative officer, a lot of the time a chief creative officer is actually just like a business person that they're like, they worked for Amazon before this and they're going to help steer the direction going forward.
They're the head of our marketing department, so they know what hits with people.
Exactly.
Right. No.
So this is an actual Star Wars creative as like leading the creative. It's great.
Yeah, and I will say, like, a lot of this news has been received with like a lot of like anti-Kathy Kennedy stuff, which of course it is. Kathy Kennedy is a great producer and studio executive, and she does love Star Wars.
Yeah.
And I think moving Dave up into the position of overseer is important because remember, even with Kathy there was no position of chief creative officer.
Yeah.
There wasn't anybody in this position before.
Nope.
So that meant like Kathy had to oversee everything. Whereas like, yeah, Kevin Feige's the head of Marvel Studios, but he puts himself mostly on the creative side and he has other executives to do the other stuff.
Yes.
Kathy as CEO was overseeing everything. And that's a lot for one person. Having somebody that can focus on just the story.
Yeah.
While the rest of the studio stuff is being handled by Kathleen Kennedy produced and created most of the films you love.
Right.
She's great at running a studio. She's great at making movies happen.
And these are just two different roles.
They're two different roles.
It's not necessary in order to celebrate this to tear down someone else, especially a woman in a position of power. Maybe that's unnecessary, guys. And also I think Quantumist makes a good point of like Kathleen Kennedy would have been a big part of this decision.
Yeah, Kathy is the one that did
the CEO, right?
Yeah.
Like
Kathy did that.
Right.
Like it's not as though all of this was not part of what she wanted.
Yeah.
The fact that Dave even had those shows was because Kathy wanted to give him the shows.
So
if she could have made him chief creative officer 5 years earlier, 10 years earlier, she would have probably, but he needed to come out of animation, become a bigger name and prove himself in the world of film and TV. So their larger investors and their larger executives at Disney understood it.
Yeah, because that's something that like you're going to have a board that's going to have to like vote on and stuff like that.
You can't just be like, this guy ran a cartoon for us and now he's in charge of everything.
Yeah.
You got to be able to explain that. It was easier for the money people to understand you made everything from E.T. to Jumanji to Jurassic Park to like come on up and run our studio.
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense to me. And like, we know that big machines move slowly. Just kind of one of those things. Yeah.
I think this is going to do wonderful things for Star Wars. There have already been a lot of wonderful things going on in Star Wars.
Yeah.
And I think this is just going to make them better.
I feel a little hole in my heart right now that we don't have a Star Wars show.
I'm weird,
feeling
right?
the opposite of like, there were people that are like, I'm having Star Wars fatigue. I'm having Marvel fatigue. I feel the opposite. I'm like,
I like my weekly Star Wars.
I love my weekly Star Wars. And like, I also look forward to it because we do the podcast and we get to sit down and talk about it. But like, it feels like it's been a while since Ahsoka, and I know that it hasn't been that long, but I'm like, I'm ready for the next one now.
I'm ready for my weekly Star Wars.
I would like more Star Wars soon, please.
It's coming. We got some coming soon.
All right, everybody. That is more than all of the show we have time for, in fact, because we ran over. Thank you very much for joining us. Thank you for spending your morning with us. Of course, we do this show every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 9 a.m. Pacific, including this Friday. And we will be here for a Black Friday It's Too Early special.
That's right. Before you go anywhere, you come to us. We're going to let you know everything you need to know about the big day for the shopping.
Big deals on It's Too Early on Friday.
That's right. So come join us.
Yeah.
But also come join us on Discord. That's a lovely place to hang out.
It's free.
It's a free time.
Not free, but Patreon, patreon.com/PixelCircus. Hey, it's not a Black Friday deal, but you can get 15% off your year subscription if you subscribe for a year. And you can get a little 7-day free trial to check it out for free to see if you enjoy the kinds of content that we post over there. We have so many things left in our run of show today that are going to be making it probably onto the Patreon on Friday.
Oh, yeah.
I would assume. We got a lot of things we didn't get to talk about because we were hanging out.
We were just
hanging out. But do check that out. We appreciate it so much.
And we want to thank everybody who, well, first of all, thanks for just coming and watching. We appreciate that. We make a show so people will watch a show, and you're doing it, and that is the dream. So thank you. So thank you so much. But also thank you to everybody who tweets about the show, who shares it with a friend, who lets everybody know that they may like the show. Thank you to everybody who suggests stories in the Discord, and thank you to the people who also give us money in other ways. We're gonna shout you out in just a moment, but first,
really quick, shout out to Flatlander and Jeremiah for sharing the show this morning on Twitter. Thank you for letting people know that they might like the show.
Saige, what are you doing after this?
You can find me everywhere on the internet at Not Saige. Today is Wednesday, so I will be streaming on my channel at 6 p.m. Pacific tonight.
There you go. You can find me everywhere at Carboni, except for here on Twitch, where I'm at Anthony Carboni. Twitch, you cowards, is mine. Give it back to me. I too will be streaming probably a little bit earlier in the day. We are still going through all of the potential games of the year, so I'm excited to try out some new titles. All right, 2-Button Josh, what do you got?
Hey guys, you can find me struggling anywhere that has more than 2 buttons at Spider Josh, Spider with a Y _ Josh, and breaking tech is kind of what I do. So come back on Friday and see how this goes.
Thank you, Josh. We love you, Josh.
We love you, Josh. You're doing a great job.